Ford GT, an American dream created to rival its European counterparts. It's not pretty and it's not a prancing horse. It's a raw supercar wrapped in muscle car clothing. A supercharged V8 beast that is so brutal and absolutely magnificent. One of the greatest cars to come out of the USA. This is the 2006 Ford GT, a 550 horsepower, 500 pound-feet of torque, American muscle car beast. This is a true supercar. This has a 5.4 litre supercharged V8 engine, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in only 3.5 seconds. Back in its time, in 2005 and 2006, this thing was a spectacle to be released onto the market. And to actually drive a car like this here on the streets of Sydney is unbelievable. This is the most magnificent American car I've ever driven, hands down. It is so well balanced. It feels like a proper supercar and the way a supercar should feel. The steering is precise. Everything is so direct. There is still enough headspace here for a guy like me, 6'1", and these seats are comfortable. They're full leather seats. Everything in this car replicates the old Ford GT40, which was a Le Mans winning car. 4 times they've won Le Mans against Ferrari, and this was created in celebration of 100 years of Ford. So Ford first started in 1903, and what they did was they actually created this car as a celebration of that 100 years of Ford, and that to me is very special. So if you look at the headlights, they resemble 100 for 100 years. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. Let me tell you, the gear ratios are so long that you can hit 100 kilometers an hour in first gear. That's right, first gear. Second gear, I can cruise around. Right now, I'm doing 70 kilometers an hour in second gear, and the car is only at 2,000 RPM. This is a very brilliant car. It's a well thought of car indeed. What Ford did was they wanted to beat Ferrari, so when they released this in 2003, they teased the world with this car, and everybody was shocked that Ford is releasing yet another supercar. The last time they did that was in the 60s with the GT40, and when they released this car, the only cars that were available was a Ferrari 360, then a 430, and this is faster than both cars, and it's a stick shift. So it's a manual, a proper old school manual, and it accelerates quicker than a Carrera GT. This car is fierce. You put your foot down, 4,000 RPM, it just kicks. It is simply insane. I love how quick it is. That supercharged V8, that's all I've got to go on about, is absolutely gorgeous to drive. Yes, it's a Ford, but it purrs, it sings, and you know what? This cabin is so quiet at high RPMs, low RPMs, that exhaust note isn't too intrusive whatsoever. It does sound phenomenal for what it is. You can hear that little slight supercharged whine and the exhaust V8 sound from the car, which is simply cool. It throws you back. It still has that muscle car slash supercar sound to it, which I absolutely think is brilliant. It is the way you want it to be. It's the way it ought to be, let's say. This is an American muscle car on the streets of Sydney, Australia. What better could you have it? I really can't find any other car that I'd want to drive right now, an American muscle car slash supercar, other than this car. You could say, let's touch on the 2017 Ford GT. That's a twin turbocharged V6. It lost its V8. Yes, it is a race car for the road, but this has heritage. 100 years of Ford has gone into this car. This was produced as a road going car, not a race car for the road. So it does the road going bits better than what the newer car would do. This overall is the new modern day version of the old Ford GT40. So it is very different to the new 2017 Ford GT, which isn't that modern day Ford GT40. It's very different again. It's a lower car, it's got that wide looks, it's got sharper angles. This is a lot more curvaceous, simply like the 1960s car, which makes it even more gorgeous. Because to me, this thing absolutely looks brilliant. And when you change gears in this stick shift gearbox, absolute thrill to drive. But drop the gear down into second, put the foot down, and it absolutely guns and screams its way up to 100 kilometers an hour in no time. 3.5 seconds, that is very quick, especially back in 2006. Coupled to this stick shift, come on, what more could you want? This is raw mechanical supercar, muscle car heaven right now. This is a V8 5.4 litre supercharged American muscle car supercar beast, and it is one of my favorite American cars to drive. Yes, it is slightly bumpy, but it's still a comfy ride. It is still a gorgeous car, simply irresistible. Let's put it that way. Curvaceous in the right places, and it's got everything that makes you tickle. This interior cabin isn't so spacious. There is no compartments for you to store your telephone or your mobile phone, let alone any luggage or bags. So if you do need to commute for a long distance, forget about using this car. It's not going to really work. Or if you do, you better have a backup car the same way that we do, and our filming crew drives another car to store all our belongings. But as a standalone car, it's just simply a sports car. It's a supercar, it's a muscle car. There's nothing more to it. It is a very, very unique and special car.